Okay. Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Jannelle, and I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you are tuning in and listening to me chat about who knows what. So, I am just like a little hype right now because I've been kind of scattering around with a bunch of little projects, a few big projects, but still trying to stay focused in what I'm doing. And so at the beginning of the year, I told myself I have three things I have to stay focused on. Three things that no matter what happens, I'm going to continue with these three things. And I'm so happy because I am and I have been. And through being consistent and through doing my thing and like just sticking with it, I have gotten other opportunities I'm leaning into, which is the reason why I wanted to record this episode today, where I talk about getting on a routine and building habits that are going to make your life better. Where I'm headed in this next season of my life, I know that I have to have routines in place, have habits in place that are just going to elevate whatever I got going on. I hate using the word elevate, by the way, because ChatGPT, if you are a ChatGPT, is it PT or BT? Oh my gosh. Anyway, if you're a chat person and you're like, hey, like write me this up, it's always going to elevate something. It's always going to use the word elevate. If you use elevate in your captions, I know you're using chat, which, more power to you. More power to you, but not me. Anyway, um, so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about some habits that have changed my life for the better, as well as some habits or some routines that I want to get back into, because Sissy is on a roll, and I'm just so proud of myself. You ever feel like that? Like, wow, like I'm really proud of myself for like really coming through with what I said I was going to do. Take a moment. Take a moment to just take that in and just give yourself like a little hug. I always tell myself, kiss your brain. But right now, I think you just have to like give yourself a hug because it really is a big deal to come through for yourself. Stop playing with me. Y'all, I got a new little setup and I just wanted to make sure. I got a new little setup and I wanted to make sure that it was still recording because the last thing, oh God, look at my hair everywhere. Yikes. The last thing I want is that I'm over here finally pushing record on this podcast and it's not even recording. So, all right. So, first things first, routine, habits. I'm always going to give you a I'm always going to give you a book recommendation because I love having books. Some people have people on rotation. Like some people like to have guys on rotation or y'all like to have girls on rotation. I like to have books on rotation. Okay, stop playing with me. I'm going to have the same 4 or 5 books that I'm reading over and over and over again. That's my kind of rotation. Okay. And one of them is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I listen to this book every time I'm in transition. And if you know me, that means it's a lot. It's a lot. I read this book a lot of times. And not read it, I listened to it. I love audiobooks because I just love waking up in the morning, pressing play while I'm getting ready, showering, doing my makeup, coffee, cooking. I just love having something playing that's actually going to feed my mind. So anyway, so James Clear, Atomic Habits. This book is like, I love it. It's like the best thing for trying to get yourself on a routine, trying to get yourself getting your habits together. So, I'm back to reading this book, and I'm doing that. I said all that to say is I'm doing that because I feel like I'm moving into this space of my life where I need to prep my external for what's happening internal. Okay. Catch it with me. Okay. I feel like because I have set myself up at the beginning of the year with like, this is clearly what I want to do. This is what I want to focus on. These are like the core things that this year, I don't care how distracted I become. I feel like when you're gifted and like you are creative and you are curious, it's so easy to dabble into other things and to be distracted and to like want to do all these things because you can. right? Because you can, and because why not? I'm a person, I love to learn things. Like I said, I'm curious. So sometimes I see things, or like I'm invited into things, and it's like, wow, that would actually be really fun. Sure, why not? And the reality is, it's like, that's not for you right now in the season. Or, girl, like, let's focus. Okay. So I'm reading this book again because I wanna get myself prepped for like fall, winter, all that good stuff. And I have always been a morning girl. I've always been a morning girl. I've always been someone who, like, it's just easy for me to get up. Like, my alarm goes off, I'm not a snooze girl. I'm not going to snooze. The only way I snooze is if like I have a long night the night before, like I went out or something like that. But I'm not a snooze girl. I'm gonna, as soon as to be honest, a lot of times I either wake up before my alarm, or if I might not even set an alarm because I'll get up around like 7:30, 7, whatever. Before I absolutely have to, if that makes sense. With that being said, recently I have not been able to get up as early as I would say I used to or would like to. Before, I would like get up at like 5 a.m. Like, that was like my thing. Like, I was a 5 a.m. girl so I can have time for myself. I always told myself, work on things that have to do with you, work on things that are going to make you better, work on things that belong to you before you go work on something that belongs to someone else. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, this is your life. You only get one. You deserve the first hour to yourself, and not just even self-care, because yeah, like, stretching, all that good stuff, but you deserve like the first few hours of your day to make you better. So again, because I'm trying to get back onto this like whole routine, whole way of doing things, I'm reading this book. I read this book when I moved, right before I moved to Philly. I remember I read this and I was like getting into like my whole groove. This is when I started like really like just tapping into, okay, like, this is my life. What do I want my life to look like? What do I want my story to be? If I'm not happy, I can change it. So he talks a lot about like habit stacking and like just all these things. So dig into that if you're looking to get into a routine, if you're looking to just getting shit together. Dig into it, okay? It's really good. Some people are not into audiobooks. I love audiobooks. I don't really care if the voice is like boring or any of that. I just really love the content. So like, I'm a little nerd in that way. So let's get into the habits. Talking about that. Talking about, now that we've discussed what has helped me with that, let's get into habits that truly have changed the game for me. Starting with, what is that one reel that's like the top of the pyramid? Starting with, that one reel, I forgot what it's called. But anyway, sleep. So I know it's so crazy because before I would be like, getting up early was my flex, right? But the truth is like, when I built a habit around getting good sleep and not oversleeping, not undersleeping, or not getting enough sleep, I found a good 6 to 7 hours is enough for me. Anything more than that, it's like I'm too overwhelmed, and like, not overwhelmed. I get too sleepy throughout the day. Or overslept, if that makes sense. Although I heard you can never really get enough sleep. So that's a topic for another day. But anything less than that, then I'm just like, okay, I could feel it in my body. Okay. So something that has like really changed the game for me is getting good sleep, good quality sleep. So a few years ago, I got really intentional about my time before I go to bed. So I wouldn't just like, okay, it's time to go to bed, shower, scroll, and go to sleep. No, like, I would have this whole like routine around sleep. Okay, I would almost romanticize it because, again, like this book says, if you read it, it talks about habit stacking and doing things you love with things that you're like not too excited about. So like, getting ready for bed, it's not too exciting unless you're like super tired, right? But it's not really fun. It's just like, get your ass in bed. Do you know what I'm saying? So I started making going to sleep super cutesy and super fun for me. I would take a really nice shower. I would get my favorite lotion and favorite like body spray and use that. I love that. I just love smelling good, feeling good, getting to some clean sheets. And I would just like make that part of my thing, my skincare routine. It just was like chef's kiss. And it just felt good. It was fun, you know? And if you're a girl's girl, you understand. Like you get it. You get the like winding down. I also, if you've like followed me on Instagram, you notice that I do this often. I started putting like kombucha into a wine glass, right? So get ready, cute pajamas. I'm sorry, you need some cute pajamas. I'm not gonna lie, I have a problem with buying pajamas. I'm addicted to buying pajamas. I just love it. I just feel like having new, fresh pajamas just changed my life. It just makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I have a whole new outfit. Like, like this is like, I don't know, like I have a whole new fit for bed. And it just makes me feel good. It makes me feel sexy. It makes me feel like, just like I have my shit together. I got my shit together when my pajamas are nice, okay? Having a whole little like thing you do before bed for me was like something that made me look forward to going to bed. So it made me look forward to like wrapping shit up and like, okay, I have to go home, gotta go to sleep. Or like I had dinner at a certain time. I would like, okay, I know at this hour I'm gonna wind down because it's time for me to have this like cute thing I do, this cute moment. I had my skincare, my skin was glowing, I smell good, feel good. I have my sexy pajamas on, I got my cute little kombucha glass. Like it just, I don't know, where is it now? I need some right now. I need some right now because I remember I also used to have like these videos I would make on Instagram and I would have my kombucha with me. It just felt like a nice wind down. And then my brain just started associating like nice hot shower with all these like cutesy like self-care things and my kombucha with sleep. If you want to be real good, you can make the like magnesium drink. So good. So that's what I started doing on a daily basis. Like this is became my routine, became a habit of mine. And it made my morning so much better. So again, like these are the habits that completely changed my life, starting with sleep. And of course, the next one, number 2, is going to be waking up early. Y'all, I know there's people who say I'm not a morning person. My best friend, she's probably like, bitch, I say that. But I just don't know if like I just can't accept that. As a morning person, I can accept that because if you go to bed early, you get enough sleep, you can train yourself to be a morning person. And that means stacking something you hate, getting up early, with something you love. And waking up at 5 a.m., I just felt like, mind you, I'm saying this because I have to get back onto this. So I'm making this episode not just for you, I'm making it for me because I have to remind myself these are the things that helped you succeed, that help you feel great, that help you feel your best. These are the core things. So I'm sharing them out loud. I'm talking to myself, but I'm talking to you too. Okay? So waking up early, like I said earlier, is just a game changer. Like having time that you whether and it could be anything. You could journal in the morning, you could just like stretch in the morning. Just having a time that the whole world is quiet to you. And usually like around that time, no one's hitting you up. No one is calling you with no tea. Nobody is um, blowing up your phone. No one is knocking on your door. Usually, you don't hear a lot of driving outside if you live in the city. You know what I'm saying? It's just such a calm time that it feels. I like to think too that it's really the energy in the air because like there's not a lot of movement. So when you get up, you're like ahead. You're giving yourself a head start to like get settled into your day instead of rushing into your day. Like I remember when I worked at the school and parents would be running late with their kid and just like, I'm running late to work and and they just bring their kid in and their kid is like a hot mess, upset because they're just not settled into their day. Like they just had to rush up out of their day. And let me tell you, the rest of their day was rough. And it's the same for us, when we have to like rush into like work or we're like rushing to the gym, right? To get into that class that we signed up for. And if we don't make it, we're going to lose like $20, Rushing into these things, it's like your body is like overwhelmed. It's like frustrated. It's just stressed out and it doesn't set you up for a good day. So waking up early for me has been something that it sets me up for a good day. It gives me and empowers me to set up my day, to even have the opportunity to set up my day, to tell myself out loud how my day's gonna go. When you're rushing into something, it's almost like you can't even really think about like how you want your day to go. It's like the day started whether I was here or not, and I just gotta swing right into it. And it's like, no, get up early. And I'm talking to myself again. I know my tone can be a little like very like in your face. Talking to myself. Jannelle, get up early. Start your day off calm. Start your day off by telling yourself what the day's gonna be like. Get some mindfulness in there. Get some deep breaths in there. You get what I'm saying? That is such a game changer. Highly recommend. Number 3, habits that totally changed my life, and I still do this. It's not something I have to like get back to, but it's I know some people do this for like the Hard 75, but I just kind of do this in general, is constantly feeding your mind with some kind of insight of some sort, education, something. And really for me, it's like books, reading. Being able like to open a book and read for 10 minutes a day. 10 minutes a day, whether you're listening to it or you're actually reading it. I am a listener. Okay. I like to listen because I'm be honest with you, when I'm reading, I'm like, I could be doing so many other things. I love audiobooks, and I can like I said, get in the shower and I'm listening. I'm getting ready, I'm cleaning, I'm driving, whatever, I'm walking, whatever. I can have a moment that I'm feeding my brain, and it's everything. It's everything. Y'all, if you are not learning, you are taking time away from your brain and your life. That is such a big statement for me to say, but it's so true. There has been studies that shown when you are learning new things, whether you're doing and learning, right? Or you're just like feeding your brain, you literally, the more you learn, like the chances of you developing Alzheimer's disease go down. So reading something every day. And let me tell you, for those who are like, oh, I don't have time, I don't have time. I don't buy the bullshit. I just don't. You make time for what you want to make time for. Okay? So you ain't gonna catch me with that one. And I talk to myself like that too. Like anything that I'm like, oh, I really want to do this, but no, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you wanted to, you would. The same way you do everything else that you want to. You get what I'm saying? So making time to read. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't read fiction books. I'm trying to get into fiction books. My one friend just finished one. I asked if I could use their book because it sounded interesting. I'm trying to get into the fiction, but y'all, I can't because in my brain, I just be feeling like I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my time with someone else's creativity when I could just be creative myself or learn something that's real. And then like, but that's my own thing. I'm not telling you that you have to do that. But I do think filling yourself up with some kind of knowledge of some sort that's going to make you better. So it doesn't have to be like, maybe it's not Atomic Habits about habits, but maybe it's about, um, maybe it's just like about something else. I don't know. I remember reading the habits of high functioning people or something like that. I forgot, by Brent something. That's great. Right now on repeat, I literally have this book on repeat. I've read it already like 4 or 5 times in August alone, and it's The Science of Getting Rich. Like I just have it on repeat. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes long, the audiobook, and I have that on repeat. She just goes and goes on reading. So, just this is just such an easy way to set yourself up for a positive outcome. You'd be surprised at how different you will start to view the world when you are feeding your brain things that is expanding it, that is growing it, that is making room for curiosity. I just curiosity. We should just have a whole like episode about this, but curiosity will literally change your life. So I was going to lean into that. But just having something that feeds you is going to make you a better person. And when you become a better person, you're going to interact with the world in a different way. And that's what we want. We want to be our full selves, our full, awesome selves. And to do that, we want to learn, we want to grow. So definitely recommend. Number 4 habit that has completely changed my life. I mean, I should have said this first. I feel like all of these are pretty big game changers. But coming in on number 4, it should be number 1, is changing my eating habits, changing the way I eat. getting out of my mind like diet culture and like diet culture, getting out of my mind like I have to eat this, I have to count calories. I don't do any of that. None. Um, I said that like if I'm too good for it. It's not that I'm too good. Maybe it would be cool if I did that, but I just didn't think it's realistic for me. I really got into caring about what I eat when I started learning about the way food interacts with me and my body. I read this really cool book about I'm big into like learning about the brain, so I'm always learning like different things. I started getting really curious about the brain when I was in school, and we talked about neuroplasticity and how you can literally rewire your brain, so you don't have to be like in that constant cycle of whatever it is that you came through, right? Like we can change. Even if you were brought up in a really hot mess situation, you can change because we have our brains have the capacity to change, neuroplasticity and all that good stuff. Look it up. It's such good information. I'm obsessed with it. So anyway, so I got really obsessed with the brain, and then I started reading about like how food interacts with our brain. But before that, I was diagnosed with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, at 19, and I had to get the doctor at 19 wanted to remove my ovaries. I was like, "Excuse me, ma'am, you're not taking these things. Like, I want a baby." Um, but I was 19, I was overwhelmed. I just didn't know I had a cyst on my ovary and had like some dangerous cells on there and all that good stuff. And she's just like, hey, like, I think it's best if you remove them. Because then this can lower your chances of having ovarian cancer, your PCOS, all that stuff. And I was like, pause. And I decided, no, just remove the cyst, and I'm going to learn how to treat my body, and I'm going to learn how to manage my PCOS. And it's been such a crazy journey because sometimes I forget how intense that time in my life was. I forget like how I was in my first year of college, and I just remember like, this is crazy. Like, I wasn't even thinking about my ovaries like that. And I remember having to like really, PCOS, if you know anything about that, for a lot of my listeners who have PCOS, if you have PCOS, you know that like food is medicine for everything, but you know how much food affects PCOS and like the symptoms and like different things going on. And instead of like just accepting the fact that like there's going to be side effects to this, you could really like learn how to manage your symptoms, and through movement and eating, choosing good foods to eat for your body, you can manage your PCOS and heal your PCOS to some extent. Like, I remember I had my cycles were so irregular, I didn't realize that that was like not a thing for everyone until I found out I had these like huge cysts. Um, and just a lot of things like hair thinning and like hair on my face, and really like a lot of weight around my belly area, and I weighed like, I think it was like 50, I was 50 pounds heavier than what I am now. And learning how to eat to heal my body and what's good for my body, it changed everything. I mean, not even just the way I looked, it just changed the way I felt, right? Like, we always hear that, like, oh, it's about how you feel, but it really is. I think we need to talk about it more. It gave, like, I felt like I just felt more alive and more awake and more like energetic. And I carried that on as I gotten older. Now, as I gotten older, it's crazy because I think because it's been such a long time since I like lost the weight. It's been such a long time since I've been having to go to doctors constantly for PCOS. And I've kind of like got it down packed to how to manage my PCOS. I don't really even talk about it a lot because I forget. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't forget I have it because trust me, like sometimes these hairs on my face, it makes me want to cry sometimes, and I have to go get laser, okay, right on my face. But I'm not like overwhelmed thinking about it because I've trained myself to love vegetables. I just love it. Like, I love kale. I literally can eat a bag of kale in like 2 days or in 3 days. Like, I just want to eat it nonstop. Like, I love just snacking on veggies, all that good stuff. So I remember, I mean, it wasn't easy, and I feel like sometimes I talk about this stuff and it comes off as like, oh, just do this. It wasn't easy. Okay. It was not easy at all. It took years for me to develop a healthy eating habit. Like I remember like just being with friends and thinking to myself like, sure, I could eat this stuff. And it wasn't about my weight. It's not no like weight thing. It was about like my PCOS. I have to learn how to take care of it because I don't feel good. My cyst can continue to grow. New cysts can grow on my ovaries. I could get like cancerous cysts. Like that is what it was about for me. So it was not about like I want to look skinny and I want to look good. It was for all that I'd get a BBL. Stop playing with me with that. No, it was really about like, no, Jannelle, like you get one life, you have one body. You take care of this. You get what I'm saying? Like you have control. You have control over some extent of over like what's going on here. You don't have to just accept the diagnoses. I don't have to do that. I could just say, you know what, I hear what you're saying, but let me get some medicine, some food, like food. Okay. Food is medicine to me. So it just became so important to me. I'm a logical person. Like maybe it's because I'm a Virgo, but I'm the kind of person that if I read about something and I know it's gonna help me, I can adapt it rather than like someone just saying, "Oh, like this is good for you." I'm like, give me the science. Where's the research? Like that's me. So when I started reading about, I didn't even like. I don't want to say I've read so much about PCOS because I just didn't, it just, to me, it was like more of a holistic thing. I read more about like how food affects my body in general. So like, what is good about kale? Like, what about kale is so good for me that I should eat it every day? You get what I'm saying? What about berries is so good for me that I should eat it every day? You know, what about salmon and like these different things is so good that I should eat it over this. So I learned so much about that and it's just changed my life in so many ways. Not only have I been able to like manage my weight, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect in the sense of like, sure, like my weight fluctuates. I would say like fluctuates 5 pounds. It's pretty normal, I would say. But for having PCOS, I just think like not having to struggle with like eating certain like choosing something that's not healthy versus a healthier choice has been so much, it's just easier for me because I've grown the habit. Okay, because I've grown the habit. It's hard work to grow that habit, but you can do it. And so that has been one that has been life changing. Highly recommend, highly recommend. And it's going to lead me into the next habit. Just that was number, is that number 4 or 5? Let's see, that was number 4. Number 5 is going to be movement. Y'all, movement has been, again, when I found out I had PCOS, that's when I really started my movement like journey. I remember my one roommate, she'd be like, let's go, it's Stephanie. She'd be like, let's go on a walk. She was like a cheerleader in high school. And she's like, let's go on a walk together, girl. We got this. I used to be like, girl, I'm not going on no walk. It is hot outside. When I go outside, my curls are wet. Okay. We were living in Florida at the time. So I remember it was like so hard for me to like make movement a part of my life, you know? And again, with PCOS, that was something that just made me, it gave me no choice. I had to keep moving. Like I was like, if I want to be healthy, if I want to have a baby one day, that just was my thing. I just had to. Do you get what I'm saying? If I want to, not develop diabetes, like I like type 2 diabetes, I just have to. Do you get what I'm saying? So that was my mentality. And I think from my early 20s up until now, I'm in my mid 30s. Yeah, I just love me. Such a hot mess. I do. I'm just so proud because I'm like, yo, like, incorporating, and I'm telling you this because it really does change your life. Like incorporating these things, like movement totally changed my life. I remember I tried like I tried so many things like CrossFit. I was like into running in college. Just so many things that I did, but it's like I always kept my body moving and trying different things that I liked and loved. And cycling just became one of those things for me that like it just made me feel powerful and good. And I'm not gonna lie, like in 2020, I got my Peloton and that changed like everything for me because I just felt like, okay, this is a solid, like constant thing that's in my face. It's in my apartment. I'm gonna like I'm going to move my body. It's here now. Some awesome instructors. Like, it just was awesome. It just worked for me. Do you know what I'm saying? So, but with that, it's just showing myself how strong I was physically. And in order for you to like really get into a habit of movement and like seeing like different things through, seeing your workouts through, it shows you how strong your mind is too. Like it just shows you how fast our bodies want to give up and like want to give in because we don't see that instant gratification that day, and how your mind kicks in and can really tell your body what to do. I know. Do I sound like crazy or woo woo? Maybe I do. Maybe I sound woo woo. I don't know. But it's just, and not just that, but on a just mental health level too. Just the way that you are, I love it because our bodies are just built to protect us, to keep us safe, to grow us, to make us better, to like, our bodies are built this way. And so the fact that you can move your body, and when you're feeling frustrated, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling anxious, and the medicine to that is to get up and go for a walk and breathe, take deep breaths in and out and get your heart rate up. Like that literally releases chemicals that make you feel better. Like this is so cool when you think about it. And movement for me, it didn't only just make me feel better internally. It obviously shows externally. Okay, we love that too, and it makes you feel good. And I'm sorry, but when you feel good about yourself and you start building that confidence, you interact with the world differently. You show up to the world differently. You are not, hunching over, like shrugging over, not wanting to, feeling insecure. You show up like, I'm here. And showing up with shoulders back, head held high, like that's a different energy you bring into this world. And let me tell you, when you put that energy out into the world, guess what comes back? That very same energy. So movement, and again, like movement with eating well, sleep, all these habits, they literally change who you are. It literally changes you, and not in a way that's like in a way that you're like, dang, like Shorty's changing. But no, yeah, Shorty's changing. Like it changes your confidence. Like I said, it changes your view of the world, because now you're not viewing it through this lens of like I don't feel good. I don't like I can't this. I can't that. Doing these things, it changes the way you think. And when you change the way you think, it changes the way you feel. When you change the way you feel, it changes the way that you act and you interact. And then that's also going to change what comes back to you. So movement, definitely high up there. Movement. I mean, you want to talk about stacking, habit stacking. Um, Work out with someone you think is fine. So that definitely is a habit that I incorporated that I just think is like life changing. So that is 6 habits. Those are 6 habits right there. I feel like I have others that would be very beneficial. What I do want to add, maybe let's add this last one, because even as I'm saying that, I'm like, girl, you forgot the main, like a main one that's like so important you always talk about. And we're going to give you one more, 7, and it's journaling. I know a lot of people talk about this because it's great. That's why they talk about it. But, and I guess I could say journaling or just taking time to meditate, reflection is so important, because it allows you to not just talk to yourself, but hear back and process things that you've experienced while you're not in the moment, which can be very therapeutic. It's so therapeutic, but it can be very healing. It can be very empowering, and it could be very, give you a chance to grow your self awareness. And in order for you to pursue your best self, right? In order for you to make yourself better, and it's not even about just being better because you're not great now. It's just if you have the potential, if you can, why not, right? Um, when you are able to sit down and reflect and sit with yourself and just write out how you feel, or just write out, I know sometimes people just need to start with writing out their day. It just helps you better understand yourself. It gives you the empowerment to make space for yourself. to be in a safe place and like create that safety for you so you're not looking for validation and that safety in others. Journaling just changes the game. And I know again it's it's like one of those things that it takes time for you to see the positive outcomes of it. But if you take time to make it a habit to journal twice a week, 3 times a week, maybe once a day in the morning, anytime, to make it, start turning this into a habit, and you're going to see a difference in the way that you again interact with the world, but the way you interact with yourself. Okay, because you're going to build a level of self-awareness, and in order to be grow into your fullest potential and all that good stuff, you have to have a high level of self awareness. That's where it all starts. That's where it all starts. I like to say that's where it all starts, that's where it all ends, right? When we are self aware, we can see how we are what is that? My favorite quote. Oh my gosh, I forgot. The captain we're the master of our, oh my gosh, captain, master of my fate, master of my soul, or captain of whatever. That quote, I love that quote. When we're able to see that we are the authors of our story, we can then make choices that lead to a story that we want, versus I'm just like living this life and life is happening to me. We happen to life. And that starts with self-awareness, and self-awareness starts with reflection, and journaling is just one of those things that's just very easy, very attainable, very what is that called? Like you can do it. Anyone can do it, right? You don't need to have a certain like level of education, or you don't. No, you could just write. Okay, write. If you don't want to write, you can't write, make a voice note, and just reflect on your day and your emotions, and what did you like? What went well? What went well today? Game changer. Game changer. So, all these things, I just love this. This is so on point with my podcast and the title of Your Best Thing. I got that title from Toni Morrison, Obsessed, and the whole quote is you are your best thing. And so that's why I came up with the name. That's why I made this the name of my podcast, Your Best Thing, because it's just so empowering. It's so empowering. I tell my clients this too. Like anytime, they're really struggling or they're really like going through something, it's like, listen, if you have you have everything you need. Okay? If you have you have everything you need. And this is why it's so important to take care of yourself. It's so important to, put yourself first. It's important to do things that bring you peace. And it's so important to get habits in place that will make you better, that will ground you, that will challenge some of these things that maybe you grew up with believing, right? It's important to do things that are going to make you better, that are going to make you into the person that you want to become. And you deserve that. Like, you deserve a good life. You deserve that. Okay? So, if any of these habits, if you do them, if they're one of your habits, like, let me know. Like, I would love to know, if there's any habits that you're like, man, that sounds cool. I would love more resources about that, books about that, this or that. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. If this was helpful, let me know. And if you're listening, let me know. I just would love to know that you're here. So you could just like put a little emoji, your favorite emoji down in the comments, something. Okay. But I'm excited, and I hope you guys like my new like little like setup. It's here at home, and yeah, it's cozy. So this was really fun. So anyway, have the best day. Have the best night. I'm not sure when you're listening to, but just have the best next 24 hours. And remember, you are your best thing.